Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to tell about mainly about what is machine learning, what is supervised machine learning, and what are the main algorithms that are based on supervised machine learning. To go with, what is machine learning? Machine learning, if we suddenly listen, or if someone who doesn't know anything, if someone listens about machine learning, then it is general that they will picture a robot, an intelligent robot, which can do the things on its own, and more on that. But it doesn't mean only that, right? It is as simple as a spam filter. Spam filter is also a machine learning tech model. It is done every day with our in around us. So machine learning is not very complicated, and it can be simple too. Now, if we consider machine learning as a map, a world map, then supervised machine learning is one important continent, we can tell that, and unsupervised machine learning is another one. It is that important. Supervised and unsupervised are that important things of machine learning. If we want to define machine learning is a field of study where the machines can take their own decisions without being explicitly programmed. To illustrate it with an example, if we consider spam filter as our machine learning model, then the training which we have, the training set which we give to the model to get trained is taken and is used to predict the data of the next instance, and that is the test data. Now the spam filter recognize the next test data based on the previous data which it predicts the next one. Machine learning systems can be classified according to the amount and type of supervision they get during the training of the model. That is, in the supervised machine learning, the name itself suggests that supervised. That means someone should tell the model beforehand. That means not the model actually. The data which is there, it should contain the label. It should be a labeled data. That means it should tell about the dependent variable beforehand. But it is not the case of unsupervised learning. In the unsupervised machine learning, it doesn't have any kind of labeled data. But in supervised machine learning, we have it. That means in supervised machine learning, it is nothing but studying in presence of a teacher, where the teacher can correct and tell the student whether he's doing right or wrong. Spam filter is one of the best examples of a supervised machine learning. The spam filter has a label data, whether the message or the mail is a spam or not is there. That means it is a classification one, where the model tells in beforehand that the model has the data of whether the mail is a spam or not, so that the model can predict when it has a new instance of another mail. Supervised machine learning has some basic important algorithms that to be known. That are like linear regression is one of the basic supervised machine learning algorithm, and after that we have regularized linear regression and logistic regression, KNN, naive Bayes, and SVM. These are very important, and we also have decision trees. These are very important algorithms of the supervised machine learning. And in this video I will brief all these supervised machine learning algorithms. Linear regression is the first type that we want to discuss in this video. Linear regression is one of the basic and simplest machine learning algorithm. In linear regression, what happens is that the name itself says that linear, right? The dependent variable and the independent variable are dependent on each other in a linear fashion. That means if we plot the whole data on a map, that is on a graph, that basically that means we have dependent variable and independent variable on the axis, and if we plot that, we get a linear curve on the graph. We want such data to be predicted in this model. Here after plotting the data on the graph, we take a best fit line that fits that tells about the whole data, and on basis of that we predict the next instance. To fit the line, we use MSE as the main parameter, or we can say that on basis of that we calculate the points on MSE, based on the MSE, and we take the best fit line that can show the data for us, that can show the whole data that we have on that. And we calculate after predicting that, we calculate the model performance, like accuracy, precision, recall, R square, and so on. That parameters we calculate. In linear regression, we have some drawbacks of overfitting and underfitting. That means the model can fit the whole data as it is. That means in the trained data it has an accuracy of 100%, nearly 100%, but when it comes to the test data, it doesn't work well, because instead of learning, the model is basically fitting the whole data. In underfitting, what happens is reverse of that. It takes a very assumed one, which the model can go wrong. To overcome this, we have regularized linear regression, wherein we have lasso and ridge regressions. These two techniques, what they do is they bring down the model parameters so that the model can have a best fit line. Next, what we have is a logistic regression. Logistic regression is also a very important algorithm where the model is used to predict the categorical dependent variable based on the independent variable set. Here what happens is, in logistic regression, we classify the whole data into zeros or ones. That is, we classify it as true or false, and we then predict the next instance, and we create the model, and we predict the next instance on that basis. It is very useful because here we have zeros and ones only, so the categorical data can be easily fitted, whether it can tell yes or no to the further instance of the model. Next algorithm is decision tree. Decision tree is mostly used for classification problems. It works for both the categorical and continuous variables. Here let us take an example of a class having female and male gender, and we want to predict whether they are going to play cricket or not. And we have data of like gender, height and class of the student. Based on that, we want to predict, we want to sorry, we want to have a model and predict the future instance. For that, we need to make splits first. For the splits, we can take on gender basis, or it can be on height, or it can be on class. It is uncertain, but to simplify and to get the best model, we want to have a broad classification, that means which can maximize the output. To maximize the output, we need to have some split methods, that are like, we have information gain, Gini, which can and we have another two methods for continuous data, as chi-square and reduction in variance. In information gain, it predicts takes the variability of the information. If we already have taken the example of the gender, that thing, right? In that, if the gender is there and we calculate the information gain, then we get more information gain. That is, here the data is more likely to have maximizing output. So we can take the first split on the gender and we can continue on that, so that we can have a very good decision tree. And one more thing is that in the decision tree, it is a very greedy algorithm, wherein the decision trees goes on and goes very long, such that it doesn't have anything further to classify on. It goes at that stage and stops predicting. So it is more likely to have overfitting. So we have techniques to stop the model to get to be overfitted. We can use pruning as one of the such techniques. That means it cuts the decision tree at some threshold value, so that it doesn't go and overfit that. And we also use some ensembles of decision tree to avoid this as well. In ensembles, we have random forest, XGBoost techniques. The next algorithm is KNN algorithm. It is one of the laziest algorithms that we have, but it is very simple to model the data and to predict as well. In KNN, we have very simple steps that we need to follow. First, initially we will select the number k of the neighbors, and after that we calculate the Euclidean distance of k number of neighbors. Take the k nearest as per the calculated Euclidean distance, and among these k neighbors, we will count the number of data points in each category. And after that, what we do is assign these new points to the category for which the number of neighbor is maximum, and our model gets ready to do our work. In KNN, what happens is that we will calculate the distance, right? So it should be scaled properly, that the variables do not range in most ways. Like if a point is there 2000, 2 and another point is there of 3000 comma 10. Here the scale 2000 and 3000 may not are big factors. So the model gets dragged to have more it moves towards that point, but 2 and 10 are more distant, so it should be taken care by scaling the data. This is one of the most important thing that we need to take care in a KNN algorithm. The next algorithm is Ney Bayes classifier. Ney Bayes classifier is what we can say is it is based on the Bayesian algorithm that we already know from our schooling, right? In Bayesian algorithm, based on that, we can do our predictions. Suppose if we want to know a question like if I want to play based on weather, if I want to go out and play basically, but it is based on weather. We have the previous data of weather, and whether I want to play or not, it is there. So I can take the likelihood and calculate my probability and know what I want to do. Based on that, I will decide whether to go or not. The next algorithm is support vector machine algorithm. SVM is one of the most popular supervised learning algorithms, which is used for classification as well as regression problems. But it primarily is used for classification problems. The main aim of the SVM is that it wants to have a best fit line or best line or a decision boundary that can segregate n-dimensional spaces into classes, so that we can easily put the new data point in the correct category in future. This best decision is called as a hyperplane. Best decision boundary is called as an hyperplane. In SVM, in SVM, we have a thing called support vectors. That is, when we have the data and we have a line to separate the data, which is a decision boundary, and we have despite of taking thin line, we take a wide width, a line which has width, so that the points which are there on the boundary of that line are called as support vectors. These support vectors are used to calculate that width. We take the line which has the maximum width based on the support vectors. These are the important supervised machine learning algorithms which I want to share. These are very important to know, and that's it for this video. Thank you for watching my video.